What's up, y'all? Welcome back to The Process. Today I wanted to talk about something that's been top of mind over the past few weeks, which is this idea of becoming and not having. And what I mean by that is when you're along whatever journey that you're on and you just don't see the fruits, the tangible fruits of your labor every day you show up to do said thing. So for instance, for me, if I make a video and I think that there was something special in the message or something, you put it out and it gets little to no views. You do feel that. If you allow yourself to feel those emotions and feel as if your output has meant nothing, then that can send you down a negative path, which is not ideal because it's so hard to build yourself out of that if you've allowed yourself to just dive down into the depths of, well, I'm doing this and nothing's happening, and it weighs on you, and it weighs on you in a very negative way. If you are creating authentically and with a deep amount of intention, it is hard to understand or maybe get clarity on why your message or why your expression isn't hitting in the same way that something somewhere else is. It's an honest place to be in because throughout any endeavor that you're on, you typically look for cues, right? You look for feedback and you look for signals that maybe allude to whether or not something is going well or maybe not well. And if you're not getting the feedback or the cues that you hope to, then all of a sudden the journey that you're on that you're supposed to be in love with can feel like a very daunting and very heavy space to be in. Recently came across a podcast where someone was talking about how important it is to remember that the having is not nearly as important as the becoming. When we default to what we want to have, whether it's financial or fulfillment or recognition or validation or any of those things, we forget that once we actually grasp those things, our desire for those things tends to dissipate almost immediately. Oftentimes we get caught in this loop of wanting things and not having them and then striving to get them and then getting them and then moving on to the next thing. A better perspective to have is to think about who you're becoming along the way. So for instance, looking at my own life, a year ago, I was doing a lot of writing online, making videos here and there about just my perspective on life. Throughout that entire year of doing those things, I thought, okay, at some point I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I don't know when. If you had asked me at any point last year what I want to attain by the end of the year, it would have been to start a YouTube channel. Now, fast forward to present day, I am on YouTube. All of a sudden, I completely forget about how last year's version of myself would have been so proud of this year's version of myself for even just creating this video that you're watching now. We forget so quickly that who we set out to become along the way happens beneath the surface. It happens with the execution of every action that is required to push the needle forward or lay that single brick down towards the foundation of the house. Sometimes we have to take a step back. Instead of constantly thinking about, okay, what am I hoping to have at the end of this? We need to take more time and bask in the knowing that who you're becoming along the way is more important than whatever is waiting at the finish line, because in reality, hopefully, never actually be finished. As soon as you get to whatever goal you set out to get to, you'll probably come up with another goal. If you continue to put yourself in this mindset where you are insufficient unless you have attained, then you'll never feel fulfilled. And that's something that I'm consistently wrapping my own brain around even right now, is that although I haven't gotten to what the goal is, that doesn't mean that you're not growing or progressing or making strides. It's all the unseen development that is contributing to your growth and you simply just don't know about it. If that's you, if you're someone that's maybe stuck in a rut, I've been stuck in a rut for a little while, it's important to recognize that who you're becoming along the way is more important. Take time to take stock of who that person is. Take a look at maybe who you were a year ago or 2 years ago. If you hadn't started a year ago and you've since started, that's an important thing to recognize. If you are in a learning phase and you just haven't learned everything yet, your attempt to try and learn speaks volumes to the person that you will eventually become. down the road. You should be proud of that. You're the type of person that's doing what other people refuse to do. I could go on and on and on, but my point is this. Just because it may not seem as if you're growing, that doesn't mean it's not the case. Beneath the surface, you're making strides. You are spreading roots. The person who you will be a year from now will look back on the person that is present here today and be thankful that they didn't quit. And that's all I wanted to say today. I just wanted to plant that seed and remind you, if you're feeling discouraged or in a rut, that you are growing and to keep going and do the best you can. All right, that's it. Until next time, we'll see you. Peace.